British luxury goods maker Burberry released an unscheduled trading update ahead of the release of its March financial year-end numbers. The update provided a positive forecast for comparable store sales. Its operating margin forecast was also positive. And although a full-year GDP, or rather full-year group revenue was, looked at as a contraction for the company. Joining us to look further into retail sales and how they're dealing with the pandemic is Mayowa Ige, Analyst at Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Mayowa, thank you so much for joining us. So what's behind we know about the challenges that the retail space has faced. What's behind Burberry's optimistic comparable store sales projection?
Hi, Reuters. Basically, it's due to their global footprints and the fact that consumer demand has actually increased for them. And then it's not only them, other luxury retail stores have also experienced the same. As different countries have come in and out of lockdowns, we've seen that consumer spending habits have changed and increased, and this has affected Burberry positively, has affected their sales positively. Also, I'd also like to attribute the increase in their revenue also to their two-phase transformation strategy that they already had in place even prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. This strategy is centered around immersive experience, building a strong brand, a strong momentum around their brand, and all of this already was delivering a positive result for them. They already had double-digit growth. They had a strong customer response to the brand, to that strategy. And so, as lockdowns are being eased, all of this has actually also fed into their strategy, and then we're seeing their strategy deliver positive results for them.
Thank you so much for that. What about their operating margin projection? I think it was 15% operating margin projection? What about that? What's behind that?
It's still based on an increase in their retail sales. From the last quarter, we have seen an increase in their in-store retail sales, and also coupled with that, a rise in their digital sales. Over the last quarter, they had like a 50% increase in digital sales. So combining these two, it's helped their operating margin increase over the period.
All right. Now, they still projected that their full year group revenue will decline between 10% to 11%. So, the operating margin's positive. Comparable store sales, they're positive. But overall, group revenue, they're looking at double-digit drop there. What do you make of that?
It still goes back to the pandemic, right? As different countries are coming out. Not everyone is coming out of it now. There's still restrictions, there's still lockdowns, and not all physical stores are open. And this has posed a challenge to the retail operating environment. And so it's impacted the group revenue and still led to the decline that we're currently seeing.
All right. So when the full year results are released, do we expect the projections from the company to tally with the reality of the numbers that we'll finally see?
Yes, to an extent, I believe that they would actually tally. Yes, it's possible that we know companies release their results and we expect that they will be biased. But Burberry, looking at past forecasts, they have oftentimes been, their forecasts and their actuals have oftentimes been in line. So, and then this is, considering that this is also a revised forecast, I believe that we would actually see an alignment between their forecast and their actual revenues.
All right, great. Now, there's something interesting that I saw on their financials. They have a QR code in their annual report. What's the strategy behind, and I think we'll put that up for our viewers, what's the strategy behind, there it is. What is the strategy behind putting a QR code in your annual report?
So Burberry is a very interesting brand, right? Burberry has always been interested in pushing the boundaries through creativity and innovation, and then they don't just want to be positioned as a luxury brand. They've always positioned themselves as a digital luxury brand, and this has driven their operational processes and even their branding. And so it's the digital technology is at the core of their operations, and so this QR code that we're seeing is just in line with what they want to be known for, what they stand for.
So what happens? You're able, if you're reviewing the reports, you scan the code, and then what? It takes you to their online store, or what?
Yeah, it takes you to their website, and then you see about their strategy, their financial reports, and everything.
Very, very interesting. All right, so what's the strategy for retail though going forward? I'm talking general, not just Burberry. Do the retail stores for clothing and apparel, do they switch to online, or hope that vaccine distribution for COVID-19 returns things to normal so that shoppers can go back to physical stores?
Well, to be honest, Roches, I don't think anybody really has an idea of how everything will pan out exactly, right? There's still a bit of uncertainty as to how things will be going forward. But I'll say that one thing is very important, that I think every business needs to take a step back to re-examine their business. And when I say re-examine their business, they need to look at the consumer's perspective. Okay, how has the pandemic change our consumers? What's been their changes in their behaviors, their preferences, their shopping styles? And then from the results of their research, they need to go back, also look at their products. Do we have the right products to fit this new customer and the change in their behaviors? They need to go back even to their own marketing. Are we using the right channels to meet the change in our consumers' behavior? And also they need to look inward. The pandemic has changed the way businesses operate. How are we going to realign our strategy, align our business to actually to flow in line with with the new normal, should we say? So I think it's just a time that most businesses should take a step back, re-examine themselves, and position themselves for whatever comes up. But one thing I think is almost one thing there is that I think is that there will still be that digital side of retail going forward, and so all businesses, to be honest, need to also look into that line of operations.
All right, great stuff. Mayowa Ige, analyst at Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Thank you so much for taking us through this surprising, unscheduled trading update from Burberry ahead of their full year financials that we'll see later in the month. Thank you so much, Mayowa.